record this. Okay. All right. Yeah, this is recording now, just in case you guys want to see this. But okay, let me know what stocks you guys want me to look at, because I've been trying to keep myself away from ETFs, and I kind of recommend the same for you guys, because it's been really volatile in my opinion. But if it works for you guys, of course, feel free to use it. You just have to be like extra patient sometimes. Yeah, like I said, I'm bearish on SPY today. You could see that we gapped up, and we have this area right here, which needs to be filled gap-wise. And SPY usually does fill gaps, right? But keep in mind we're in a very risky market. Just it's everywhere, so hopefully it does fill. But I mean, look at this. Usually, like months ago or years ago, if SPY ended up gapping up and then trading to the downside, it would just have good long length candles until it reached the gap start, you know. But the day we're in today, so. But I mean, let's see. Okay, you said the 394 put. Um, let's see. If I were to go a SPY put, it probably would be the 395. Because you do have to realize it's Friday, so honestly, 3 397 if you're going for puts would be better. And the reason is because let's say SPY does break down, right? Once it breaks past 397, you have that premium boost from the contract going in the money. So even though it's a little bit more expensive, it does give you one of the safer contracts you would get into today if you wanted to trade SPY. Me personally, if I were to enter, um, I've been you guys have seen I barely post SPY trades anymore because I barely take them. Rather wait for the market to cool down until I could start trading them again. But a simple way to just enter, right, if you want to be very cautious, is see SPY like bounce up to 38 or to 50 and then continue into the downside. And then you get a better entry, you know. Of course, keep an eye on the volume, right? The good thing is you could see increasing bearish volume, so that means that the outlook is bearish. So we 100% just enter into puts right now? No, because the market's just been everywhere as of late. So yeah. But let me know what you guys want me to look at. If you guys have no um if you guys have no suggestions, I'll look at the usual stocks that I look at. Wow, okay, all right. A few of you guys asked Nvidia, so we'll do that. Geez, is there news about Nvidia? We also rejected the supply, basically. Okay, so the good thing is it looks like it'll continue breaking down. Let me go onto the Nvidia option chain. Let's see. So you guys are looking at the 135. So I know I said the option rules about, trying to pick contracts with 5 or 0 to make sure that you get the best contracts with the most volume, stuff like that, right? But when it is 0 DTEs like Fridays, I do suggest going for contracts that will easily be in the money. So let's see. I think I'm right now I'm looking at the 136 contracts. It's a little bit safer. Let's see. So I'm looking at the 136 NVIDIA contracts that expire today, which is September 2nd. just waiting for a good time to enter. You also want to be patient with these things. Oh no. Did Discord do something with their bots? Great. Okay, so I'm looking at the NVIDIA 136 puts. I'll let you know when I personally enter. Why is Elon a fraud? You're referring to my message up here because he is the guy. Like it's a joke and at the same time it's reality. This guy is like a pathological liar. He lies about everything. I mean, how many times has he in the past? Now he's kind of slowed down with it, but how many times has he like given projections of like projects finishing up or amazing technology that he's about to release, and Tesla just skyrockets in price, but he never delivers. There's a lot of other things that surrounds him, you know, like his authenticity. Wow, my English sucks and stuff like that. Um, I don't genuinely see him as a great person, so he might be a smart person, but he doesn't do proper business. Because in the end, he's just the one gaining when the stock rises, right? So yeah, but right now we're just in a waiting game for Nvidia. I'll just, so we don't have to keep on looking at this, I'll just put a, so this is the great thing about waiting, you know, if you, this is why me and other analysts always say, if you trade with a set of rules, you always end up trading better than just entering based on each scenario. You know what I mean? So right now, I'll tell you what I'm looking for, right? We basically see Nvidia gapped up today, but it filled a gap, right? It filled a gap and it continued down to the downside. Now, usually, if a stock gaps up and fills the gap and still continues into the downside, that's a very, very bearish sign. You also need to look at the fact that there was a decent big red candle, and following that red candle, even though the candle sizes were uh becoming smaller in size, there was a lot of good bearish volume following it, which you could see on the bottom. Now that indicates that the market is looking at Nvidia, well, most of it in a bearish sentiment, right? So that's why like puts are a really good idea. Um, and as I said, I'm looking at the 136 puts, but quite frankly, I could actually be looking at the 130. Nah, stick to 136 puts. Because if we're looking for a breakdown, it would definitely should pass 136. So yeah, let's delete this. How old am I? I'm 21. I started trading at age 12. I turned 21 in March. Okay, let me get off NVIDIA for just a second. I'm not gonna bore you guys here. This, let's see. Not interesting. Ooh, what is this? Moderna, you always have to like catch the movement in the morning itself, right? When the market opens. If you don't, then it's not even worth getting into. Walmart, similar pattern as, not Walmart, Neo, similar pattern as Nvidia. Baba is just figuring out what it wants to do today. Uh, Apple, still figuring out. It's creating a range. You guys are looking at Apple, which follows similarly to SPY. This is its mini range right here, right? So breakout on either side following good volume. You could look to enter either calls or puts. Boeing, boring as usual. SPY, naughty as usual. IWM, same thing. QQQ, same thing. Tesla, basically the same thing as SPY. Let's see. Okay. So we just have our eyes on NVIDIA right now. It's just a waiting game, for what you have to do. Yeah, but I'm 21. I started trading in March. No, March like years ago. I forgot what year, but I know I was like 12. I don't believe I was 13. I was 12. And I remember I had a cousin that was way older than me. So I used her account for trading, or I created an account with her credentials and traded. So yeah, but we're starting to, well, I thought we were starting to get a breakdown, but not anymore. So what I mean by breakdown, so you guys can know what I'm actually looking at, is we start to see reversal candles. That would be a pin bar, right, or whatever you want to call them, similar to this candle. And then following that candle, we get a bearish candle. So that's what I'm looking at, specifically are looking for. Hold on. Let me reshare my screen so you guys could just see my trading view. I want to figure out what's going on with my bot. I think I didn't, I got my, never mind, I'm not going to talk about it. It's not even important. But feel free to ask questions. Let me know. I think, uh, I think on Saturday I'll hold a, you guys let me know in the chat right now if you guys want me to hold a live session on just the questions that you guys have for me, because a lot of people have questions, or I could just choose a topic that I can explain. While I'm saying that, we're starting to see some hesitation over here, so that's a good sign. All right, let me just put an alert. But you guys let me know in the chat. Meanwhile, I'll go check something out really quickly about my bot. What you guys want me to do? If you guys are fine with me doing questions, answering questions, or if you guys want me to, what's it called? Man, I can't think. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm reading something at the same time. Okay. Okay, so I'll just answer your guys' question. When will I enter NVIDIA? As I said, I'm waiting for a rejection off of one of these levels, or just a rejection, and then a reversal candles pointing to downside, followed by a pickup in volume, right? As I said, market usually shows the direction it wants to go in. You can see right here on my screen on the bottom side on TradingView, right? For these bullish candles, you could see the volume is decreasing. Of course, since it's a little bit past 9:30, the volume naturally decreases, but you could still, like if it was bearish, you could see right over here the volume increases on bearish candles. So I am confident, I am personally confident in the fact that NVIDIA would continue to be bearish. So I'm just waiting for a reversal candle, and this could be the one, right? Okay. The next question is, use the 3-minute time frame for day trades. I used to use the 15-minute all the time for years, but I've learned that whenever the market is volatile and risky, it's better to actually use the 3-minute, in my opinion. Okay, so I'm looking at again the NVIDIA 136 puts for September 2nd, which is today. I'm going to be probably personally entering in a second. Again, none of this is financial advice. It's just my trading ideas for educational and entertainment. Wow, entertainment purposes only. But the bid ask is 3 cents apart, so the fill should not be that hard to get. I'm just waiting for a little bit less hesitation, and I'll be personally entering. Okay, so I'm going to enter here at NVIDIA 136 puts at 95. I got filled for 95 and 93. All right. Okay, so we'll just say I got filled at 95 because that's where my first position got filled. My trims, I'm going to set it at, let me do it, 104. And then my next trim will be at 124. No, not 124, 114, sorry. And then 124. So 104, 114, and 124. That should be 10%, 20%, 30% profit. We have to be a little bit, well, I'm personally going to be a little bit patient on this. It is just 10 a.m. Eastern, so we might see some little hesitation. But as long as NVIDIA doesn't really break above this level over here, 39.25, we'll be okay. Because you could see that it's the 50 level for fibs, and also it's an important resistance. Okay, we're approaching 104 here. We're close to it. We're at 1. Let's see if we can get filled for 104. If we do, that'll be 10%. I know a few of you guys asked questions. Don't worry, I'll get to it. I'm just waiting for, okay, since there's hesitation, I'll just answer it away. Someone asked for the live session to be on the Sunday. Unfortunately, I'm going to be, not unfortunately, fortunately, I'm going to be spending time with my wife for 3 days starting Sunday. So I will not be able to host the live session on Sunday, but that is why I will host it on Saturday. And if you cannot make it, do not worry. I will always have the live sessions recorded. So we got filled for 104 over here. My entry was 95, so that's about 10% profit. We're approaching 114, which would be 20% profit. I wish I could get this alert out. Sucks that I couldn't, but my bot. Okay, I got filled at 114. That's 20% profit. Now next trim is at 124. If you did enter, make sure to be responsible and go according to your risk tolerance. And we got fill for 124. Okay, that's 30% on the NVIDIA 136 puts. I'm curious, did anyone get to enter that, or? I mean, I hope so. My
Yeah, I
throat
just
feels,
$600.
hey, you know what you need to do? You need to
Yeah, I'm
buy,
also up like 3,500 bucks.
it's Indian food time. Here we go. You guys should, if you guys are interested in Indian food, go for chicken biryani or goat biryani. My goodness, those two, amazing. Contracts are at 40% if you guys are still in them. If you guys still want to hold on to them, what you can do is you could do 2 things. One thing I'll personally recommend, one thing I won't personally recommend. The one I wouldn't personally recommend, since it's 0 DTE, is going according to stock price. So if the stock goes above a certain price, then you would exit. That would work on a usual day, but since it's Friday and the contracts decrease in value very quickly, probably would work against you. So I just suggest trailing stop loss, or that's what I would personally do. But yeah, I need to figure out how to get my bot back up. Okay, I think I fixed it. Nope, I didn't fix it. Well, that's great. Oh, you got into the 136 put at 62. Oh, you got in early and you sold at 94. Oh, nice. No, profit is always profit. Don't the one mistake you know always do in trading is looking at what the price is after you exit. Will always cause fear of missing out or FOMO, as everyone says. Of course, I had to go the weird way of saying fear of missing out. Do I think SPY is still bearish? Well, yes. As I said, I was bearish overall, but I just didn't enter because I don't want to be caught up in this chop and the volatility would just kill the contract. So, as I said, we were bearish for the day. We still had that gap down, which is about to fill, right? The end of the gap up. I mean, not gap down, but the end of the gap, the start of the gap up starts at 396.72. So, in my personal experience, whenever I have seen SPY break below the start of the gap up and it continues into the downside, then that usually means that SPY is bearish for a day, right? So that's just yeah. Um okay. Uh Someone asked, just want to see what your psychology is like when looking for a trade. Finding what you feel confident about when you see what works with your rules and executing the buy of the trade and your exit strategies. Why you trade SPY and X why do you trade SPY and not XBX? Okay. So for those who do not know what SPX is, I'm pretty sure most of you guys do. SPX is basically like has more oomph in the contracts, meaning that the contracts move a lot quicker. They give a lot of profits, but they also give a lot of risk because they make you either gain a lot of money or lose a lot of money very quickly. I do trade SPX a lot, or at least I used to until, the past month where the market's just been not the greatest, right? Uh, the reason why I don't personally alert it is it's very hard to get the contracts that I'm looking at for SPX out there in time. And so, like, I used to trade it, I used to alert it like a few months back, if you guys remember. And some people got in, but majority weren't able to get in because, people are working and stuff like that. So it was just a waste alerting it. So I just, if I did enter, I would usually go for SPY contracts. I also would not recommend trading SPX unless you have a big account and you can afford to lose some money. That's my personal recommendation. It's very risky to trade SPX, and I'm talking very risky. The reason why it's very risky is because this is how it will always work. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Not always, but majority of the time, you will win on SPX majority of the time. And I'm talking, let's say if you have 5 trades, you will have like 3 or 4 winning trades. But that one losing trade or that two losing trades that you have will absolutely decimate your uh like account because you will just hold on for just even like 2 seconds more and the value of that contract just absolutely diminishes because you're so used to getting those profits in the prior 3 trades that you're hoping for it again in the second or the fourth or the fifth trade. It just like totally ruins accounts. So yeah, I just personally I would stay away from it unless you know. Yeah, SPX is SPY 10 times. Yeah, basically. I mean it's the same movement, right? So, but yeah, Nvidia, of course, whenever there's a movement, there's always a cooldown. So not really worried. I of course I have a big portfolio, so I still am in contracts. Uh, I'll still be holding personally. So very okay. That was a good trade on Nvidia. I'm not gonna really continue on that. Moderna seems good for a breakdown. This is interesting. Moderna contracts really. I like the movement of Moderna contracts a lot. But yeah, could you guys let me know? What do you want me to do on Saturday? Do you guys want me to do a Q&A session? Or should we do a, what topic would I teach next? Uh, I don't know. You guys recommend me a topic to teach next. TikTok dance? Ugh, I hate TikTok. If you guys ask me, if you get literally, if I do a Saturday live session, you guys can ask me like anything, and I'll tell you. Like, if you ask me about TikTok, I'll give you like a 10-minute spiel, and after you guys will hear that, you guys won't even want to go on TikTok anymore. So price action is basically tied into volume analysis. And hold on, give me 1 second. I'll reshare my screen. I just want to show you guys. Okay, right. Let me share my screen again. Okay. So if you guys go onto my YouTube channel, hey, look at that. We're 940. We're 60 away from 1,000. But if you go to Pinnacle Traders, one of the videos I have is named Volume Analysis, but it's actually price analysis as well. But it's more about volume analysis, of course, than price action. So I will put a more in-depth video up. But if you haven't watched this video, I would recommend it. If I were to recommend what videos to start off with first, if you're trying to trade by yourself, I would first watch this one because risk management is always important. So I'd watch this, you need to know this, clickbaity kind of title YouTube video with the thumbnail proper account growth. This talks about if you have a small account, medium size account, or big account, then I would look at you could either start out with the support and resistance because that's very easy to learn if you pay attention to this video, or then the basics, the volume and analysis. So just watch these two. It doesn't matter which order. I'd recommend watching the volume and then the support and resistance. And after you watch that, you have two options. You can watch the fibs, right? Which I did recently. I think like 6 days ago or something like that, or 7 days ago. Or you can watch the supply and demand. Supply and demand is very, very reliable if you use it properly. And I go over in two videos, this one and this one, how I plot them and the rules I look at them. I look to use them. I will be posting another video on supply and demand zones as the rules, there's of course more rules to it. Not everything is just black and white. So yeah, I'll post more on that. But so to answer your question, I don't think I'll talk about price action just yet because there's still untouched basic concepts that I need to go over that people do not know. So I'd rather go over those and then do in-depth videos. I think is this Ali asks, Ali says, I think I would really be interested in seeing how you do your charts and what do you see. Okay. All right. So I think what I'll do on Saturday is I'll do basically a question Q&A thingy. It's as cheesy as that sounds. I'll do a Q&A, but at the same time, I'll be doing a watch list since people have been asking that for decades from me. So I'll do a watch list and on there, which this will of course be recorded, and on there, you guys would see what I'm looking at and stuff like that. How I plot my zones, my levels, my trends, and stuff like that, and that could help out. Would that work out for you guys, or let me know? Yeah, I figured that would be the best choice. A lot of people have been asking how to. Maybe I should do a video on how to create watch lists. Because if you guys can create your own full watch lists, my goodness, like sorry to all the analysts out there, but once you start learning how to create sorry, my throat's bad. I actually just recently had a fever, a very bad fever, and then a horrendous cough, so that's why I've not been live trading. But if you guys learn to, that's why my throat's still very bad, it hurts right now. But if you guys learn how to actually make your own watch lists, you really don't need analysts after that. Because once you learn how to make your own watch lists and stuff like that, you'll be able to learn what to look at in stocks because you're already looking at a few certain stocks, right? And like compared to this, right? Like this is just like 20 stocks on a list. Who cares? Like I could be missing out on stuff, right? So that's not the point of a watch list. Watch list is condensed. It's just a few stocks that you know either news about or have traded before, or like the price movement of, like here's an example. Bank of America. If you're a safe trader, you would trade Bank of America. Why? Because the movements are predictable. The movements are slow. You could kind of get them beforehand, right? Versus Tesla. Tesla is high reward, high risk at the same time, right? Like the contracts move like as if they're on cocaine, and the chart also moves like as if it's on steroids. So everything here is emphasized versus Bank of America. It's slow, so that's why creating watch lists are very important. And then after that, you would just tie in your strategies. But as I said before a million times in the past, strategies mean nothing if you don't have proper risk management. So if you've not watched this video before, watch it. Or if you already know the rules of risk management, just try to implicate it on yourself. Make sure you're being careful with it. Uh, um, but yeah, you see how baloney the market is like. Why is Nvidia retracing all the way up here? But it is what it is, whatever. But do you guys have any questions I can ask? Any stocks you guys want me to look at? If not, we'll probably end the live here. It's already 10:14. In a few minutes, the market's gonna essentially die down a little bit, so it's not even really worth doing it. Will I post a link? Yeah, so there's two servers you guys are probably coming from since I couldn't get the link out through my bot. You guys are in the live session or in Pinnacle Traders. So in the live session, I'll have the scheduled time and everything on the announcement tab, and on Pinnacle Traders, pretty self-explanatory. You guys will find it in the announcement tab as well. So either or, you guys will get a notification. But again, Saturday will be recorded. It will be a live session of me basically creating a watch list and answering questions, since a lot of people have had questions. I'm already out of my NVIDIA contract because we broke above 139.05, and that's just, yeah. Um, since I'm not posting this live session to other servers, I can be free to say that Pinnacle Trader is actually my server. It is a premium server, just like every other server out there. But just to let you know, if you guys see a free server, I can 100% guarantee you it will not be a free server for soon, or they have other ways of making money. But anyway, just be aware of free servers because they're sketchy. But yeah, Pinnacle Traders, I'm not gonna go deep into it, but Pinnacle Traders is my server. It's currently free right now. It's been paid, but I have it free for next week because a lot of people have been losing money, and I don't know if you guys have realized, a lot of servers are actually dying down because members are unsubbing because they're losing money, not from the analysts per se, even though, like I had not that great of a month last month, but the journey was pretty hectic. Like last month, I came from a 50% win rate, right? We were at 50%. I was at 50%, close to it. I came back to a 73%, which I'm pretty proud of. Of course, I'm not really proud of the fact that it's at a 73% when my average win rate is at a 90 or 94. So that's pretty shameful. But, it's not just me who faced the burdens of the market, unfortunately, so a lot of other analysts did. So did so many members, and I feel extremely bad for them. Yeah. Um, uh, if you guys want to join, you guys can just go on Discord, click on my Discord profile, make sure to choose the right one, and you'll find the links through a link tree link that's there. I don't want to send it on Zoom because then people end up saying it's not working. So I don't know why it doesn't work if I send it through Zoom. But yeah, did someone ask a question? Yeah, but that's Pinnacle Traders is my server. Since I'm not really posting this link to other servers, I don't mind talking about it. But okay. Thanks Kevin. Appreciate the live trading with the explanations. Of course, it's my pleasure. I'm heading into college. I'm heading to my dorm tomorrow night. There's pros and cons to it. Pro, it's easier to have live sessions actually, believe it or not. So that means more educational content. Con, less alerts and less live trading sessions. But yeah. If I were to look at live trading, I think realistically the only days I would probably be able to do that is like Monday mornings or Friday mornings, but other than that, not really. And of course, since I'm in college, I'm gonna have a lot of work, so those are not gonna be uh as consecutive. But trade alerts, of course, will be. If you guys haven't seen, I've kind of died down with the trade alerts, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I've been picking quality over quantity, and that's been working out, right? So I need to create the September log. But yeah, so expect like only 1 or 2 alerts from me in the coming months, Of course, someday there will be more, some days there'll be 1 or 2 or none. But regardless, it's been a pleasure trading with a lot of you. A lot of people think it's annoying to deal with questions. It's only annoying for me to deal with questions that are asked multiple times by the same person. In my opinion, there's never a dumb question unless it's asked, say, 3 times again, you know. Other than that, there's no such thing as a dumb question because I probably had the same question when I first started. So, regardless of how this college semester goes, who knows? It seems like servers are dying down, so a lot of servers might release my duty, release my alerts. So if that happens, it's been a pleasure trading with you guys. Um, Pleasure answering questions. It's actually, I started this whole, I'll be honest with you guys, I started this whole live session server as a way for you guys to obtain free education that I never got to get, as much when I first started trading, but also to grow a YouTube channel, which it could be a very passive income. But honestly, as the time went on, I really have not been thinking about the passive income from YouTube and more just putting educate educational content out there. So it's been nice. Would you think of doing live sessions every day or most trading days before market opens? So as I said, since I'm going to college, the pro is I'll be able to do a lot more live sessions. By what I mean by that is maybe 1 or 2 live sessions per week, right? Again, could be 0. Always depends on my workload from college. Uh, these live sessions are going to be educational content. If you guys actually look at my channel, um, if you guys look in the beginning, you'll see that I used to have like educational content like every week and stuff like that, but then start dying down. So those will be usually hosted at night because that's late night or night. That's when I usually get free. So that's when I'll post that's usually when I'll do it. But regardless, if you can't make it, I'll always record it, posting on YouTube so you guys can see it. So don't worry. But yeah, the live trading will be hard to do because I'll show you guys my schedule. I have no problem. Give me a second. I go to Hofstra University. Let me hold on. Actually, this might be boring. I'll end the stream soon. Trey, guys, don't worry. You don't have to be burdened by my voice anymore. But meanwhile, for some reason I'm gonna show you my Hofstra schedule. You guys can go ahead and ask me a few questions because soon I'm gonna be ending the stream. So if you have any questions, it's better to ask now. So it's better to get a verbal answer than a text answer. I can answer better. So shoot.
Question: if we pass 400, is it safe to get in calls or should we wait till it pass 401?
Okay. Yeah, I'll answer that. Let me see. So I'm gonna share my screen again. So you're wait 400 for SPY, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a very valid thought. The reason is if I go out to a bigger time frame, as I said in the past, right, a little bit ago today, we broke below the weekly trend line, and usually whenever SPY especially breaks below or above a trend line, it ends up testing it again. What I mean by that is I'll briefly show what I mean. We could expect it if it breaks above 400, right, which was basically the open or the high today. We could predict it, right? We're not absolutely certain, but we could predict it to test this trend line and either reject off of it, right, to the downside, then SPY would be bearish, of course, or continue into the upside, right? So yes, if SPY did break above 400, if you see volume following it, and if you see good price action, you could expect it to, you know, break into the upside. If I were to personally, and oh my gosh, this looks ugly. If I were to personally enter into those calls, what I would want, since ETFs are a little bit risky to trade these days, right? I would want to see a lot more lower highs, right? If SPY, for example, like in these next few minutes, if we were to like break down and create a new low, I would personally be a little bit hesitant to enter in the first place. But if it continues to create higher lows and we break past this, it wouldn't be a bad idea to get into calls. And we could see it try testing this trend line over here. Hopefully that answers the question. If an
Yes, thank you.
analyst ever gives you a yes or no, always ask them questions because it's never yes or no for entering into puts or calls. There's always many factors to it, you know. But yeah, so hopefully we break above 400. I don't want SPY to be bearish anymore because this is just like volatile as heck and not fun to trade. But you could see that this is a very strong, also, for the one who asked if we should get into calls, the reason why it would not be a bad idea to get into calls is you could see this rejection of this gap fill, right? We couldn't really fill it. You could see the movement we had to the upside was pretty strong. You know, it was followed by a pretty full-bodied candles, so that's a very good sign. WFC, never heard that stock before. It's so funny. I got into live trading sessions, and I swear every time I always hear a stock I've never heard about. You guys seriously find like the weirdest stocks. Not the weirdest stocks, just like the most unknown stocks I've ever heard of. But let's see. You said you want to do it for calls, straight for calls. Give me a second, I'll tell you what I think. Okay, so do I see upside? I don't know. I feel like it could still retrace into the downside, in my opinion. The reason is because you can see that we have more bearish volume and the bullish volume is very weak compared to the bearish volume. So, and also, if you want to look at it this way, right? Ever since we started the bearish trend, the volume has been decreasing. So I personally would think that we actually rejected this supply zone right here. Oh, wait, let me change this. Come on. We rejected not the supply zone, but this supply zone. I didn't draw it out, but you could clearly see there's a supply zone right here, right? We rejected it, and if we were to go purely based on volume and price action, I would say that calls is not the greatest idea in my opinion because we're having decreasing volume while a bullish trend occurs. So that means that the market is not really really going with the trend. You could see also, you could see right here, once we started having bearish movement, you could see the volume kind of increased, right? So in my opinion, no. WFC calls are not. Oh, Wells Fargo. I'm so dumb. Wells Fargo, geez. No, Wells Fargo calls are, in my opinion, not the greatest option right now for swings. Purely based off of volume. You go look, of course, on a bunch of other stuff like the 200 MA. You know, if you use 200 MA, you could see that it broke above the 200 MA, right? So it's up to you. But personally, you always want to, the thing with swings, the reason why people get it so wrong is they don't realize that they can wait for swings. Swing is a patience game. You don't need to enter at the lowest low for calls and the highest high for puts. You can wait for confirmation. That's the beauty of swings. That's why so many people get it wrong and so many analysts get it wrong. And I hate analysts that swing and don't know how to swing. You always wait for confirmation and you do not wait to enter at the best max profits entry points, right? So if you want to enter into calls, right, you would want decent sized candles, not these tiny candles. So yeah. And then you could take this volume analysis right here, right? You could see that calls are not the best option. Decreasing volume for a bullish trend and increasing volume for a bearish trend. That means that the stock is more bearish than bullish. So yeah. Any other questions? Hopefully I answered your question, Neil, about Wells Fargo. Can't believe I didn't know Wells Fargo's thing. That's sad. Man, I'm selling my laptop on Mercari, if you guys know what that is. I'm literally selling it almost $200 less than what it goes for. People are still so shy to buy it. Funny. Funny. XPEV. What's that? Let's see. Also, if you guys want a year-long Spotify subscriptions, you know what I mean? Wink, wink. Feel free to message me. But let's see. Never heard of XBank Inc. before. You're saying it's at IPO lows. If actually, so this is what I've come to learn. If a stock is newly released, right? If the IPO is not more than like 4 years old, which again in the situation is not even like a year, it's basically just a year old, a little bit more than a year, right? Yeah, 2 years basically. I would always actually recommend to stay away from it. Because you don't know how it will act if it breaks below an IPO low or breaks above an IPO high, because those would be major supports or major resistances. So I would recommend to stay away from it. It's very risky. What you would rather wait for is it to break down. Let's say it breaks down, right? I'll show you what, if I were to enter in, right? This is what I would enter. So I would wait for it to, hold on. Sorry. Okay, so what I personally would do is I would wait for it to break down, right? Break below its low and then retrace back, shows promise of a continuation to downside, and then I would enter into puts. Because IPO trading stocks that are recently IPO'd are risky, so yeah. Baba, let's check out Baba. Oh yeah, Baba might fill the gap today. Why do I have this line? Oh, this was a range. Yeah, so okay. That's what it was. So Baba broke below a range. Was this today? Yeah, today. So Baba broke below a range. The bottom of the range is at $92.52. Now, this level is very important because two things. One, Baba can break above it and it could be bullish for the rest of the day and fill this gap, right? Which starts at $93.64 roughly. And if it does, then of course it's bullish. But if it rejects off of here, puts would be a very good idea if you see good volume. If you're bullish, the good thing is you can see right here, and I'll show you. Why is my brain not functioning right now? I swear I'm so dumb sometimes. Okay, whatever. Right here, we have a double bottom, so that's a bullish sign. Since everyone likes pointing out double bottoms. So I'm personally bullish on Babo. That's my thoughts on it. Again, yeah, so if you want I have like hold on 1 second. But yeah, the reason I was saying is a while back, people were asking me like when I was younger, I used to sell like Netflix and Spotify subscriptions for cheap. So people told me to bring that back. So if you guys want information on that, just feel free to message me on Discord. But on that note, I think I shall end the live trading session here. It's not much to really look at. Market's going to be dying down. Only things to look at is Baba and SPY, as the person noted earlier. Whoa, we broke above 400, and I personally like this candle, so I would say I'm bullish on SPY and Baba personally. But of course, do your own due diligence. That's just my own opinions. But it's okay. Someone wanted me to check Uber before I go, so I'll check out Uber. Oh, why do I have all these lines? Jeez. One tip, always keep your charts clean. Don't clutter it. I know this analyst who has like 20 lines on his chart, and I tell him, you gotta be kidding me, you're crazy. Are puts valid? Not yet, because we're creating higher lows and we've had no bearish sentiment. Right now, just like the rest of the market, Uber is bullish. So I do not see the chance of puts until we see some kind of reversal into the downside. One factor, if you want to still look at puts, is the fact of decreasing volume, right? We could see a lot of decreasing volume, but then also that's just we're on the 3-minute chart, so that's just probably because it's reaching a time where the market usually dies down. So I'm more bullish on Uber than bearish, but hopefully that answers your question. Fortunately, yeah. But all right, guys, it's a pleasure. I'm gonna end the stream here. I'll be back on Saturday most likely. See you guys.